Hello, class. I'm former Sergeant Joshua Billiard with the United States Army. I served 6 years across 3 different duty stations to include Fort Hood, Texas, Fort Benning, Georgia, and Fort Riley, Kansas. During that time, I served in multiple roles such as training officers. I served combat roles in Iraq, and I also served as a frontline NCO in Fort Riley, training soldiers to prepare for war later on, in which I would have joined them had I not gotten out. Today I'm going to talk about the 16 weeks of one station unit training for 19 Delta Cavalry Scouts. It begins with what we call red phase. Red phase pertains to your introduction to basic training. It gets you used to it, gets you adjusted to that lifestyle. During that time you'll learn basic disciplinary, you'll learn phonetic alphabet, you'll learn your lingo, you'll learn your drill sergeants, you'll learn your schedule, and you'll continue to carry on into what we call blue phase, or white phase, excuse me. During white phase, that's where you're going to learn what your physical fitness standards are. It's where you really begin to get in shape to carry out your role as a cavalry scout, which can include both vehicles or mounted operations or dismounted operations, which includes heavy loads on your back or rucking into your missions. Another big thing they do during white phase is they start inducing stress, meaning you lose a lot of sleep. You go down from, maybe before you join the Army, you were used to 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep. After that, you live off about 3 to 4 possibly a day. What that does though is that helps better prepare you mentally for combat situations in which sleep is not a guarantee. So you get sleep when you can, and you learn to operate with a lack of sleep. Drill and ceremony is another big thing we do that instills discipline and professionalism within the soldiers. It's a sense of pride to look good when we march, to be impressive per se. It's a way of showing dominance without carrying weapons in full combat load. After white phase, you're going to move into blue phase. Now, blue phase really gets into your meat and potatoes of being any soldier. You're going to have your weapons training for cavalry scouts. This is a multitude of weapons to include anything from M4s, which are semi-automatic or burst fire rifles, to 249 and 240 machine guns, Mark 19 automatic grenade launchers, AT4 rocket launchers, claymores, frag grenades, C4, learning to detonate, learning to set it up, and also how to safely deal with not disarming explosives, but in the event that an explosive does not detonate when it should, how to deal with live ordnance and safely move away from it or safely get it to EOD so that they can take care of it. Last thing on that one is the M242 Bushmaster chain gun, which is a main weapon on our Bradley vehicle. Another part during blue phase is your radio etiquette. Radio etiquette is where you learn how to speak to your commander or somebody else on the radio. It's how to talk to them, and how they talk to you. It's how to call for medevacs or medical exfils. It's also how to call in artillery strikes. As cavalry scouts, your best weapon, your biggest weapon is the radio. Our job is not to go toe-to-toe with an enemy. It is to find them before they find us, call it up on the radio, and drop very big bombs on them. It is essential, and we spend a vast majority of time training on that. The last part is on blue phases. After you successfully completed these 3 phases, you'll move into your family weekend. Your family weekend is that nice little break you get between your 8 weeks of basic and your more advanced training. Unlike basic and advanced individual training, OSUT members such as scouts, infantry, and tankers, we do not leave. We are stuck in that one spot with the same drill instructors for 16 plus weeks. Family weekend gives you 2 days off. Your family gets to come up and see you. They get this for cavalry scouts. They see you in uniform. They see you earn your sabers, which is a pin you wear on your left lapel. Classically, infantry, they have cross rifles with a blue ring around them. Scouts, we have cross sabers, and tankers have cross sabers and a tank in the middle. Everybody else wears just a U.S. medallion here on their left lapel. After you complete your family weekend in blue phase, you come back into what's called black phase. Now, from there, your drill sergeants will begin to attack you again. They'll come at you. They'll get you set back in that mindset. Games are over. It's time to get back to it. From here, you really get into everything all the way in Cavalry Scout. You begin learning call for fire. You begin learning your land navigation, how to navigate terrain that you don't know with only a map and a compass. You'll also get into vehicle training. You'll learn how to maintain your Bradley, your Stryker, and your Humvee. You'll learn how to drive them on road courses. And then, of course, you'll move into firing weapons off these systems, and then moving that into scout gunnery, which is just a large road course in which you take live ammunition, you have targets downrange, and you go out there and you will engage targets as if you were going across a battlefield. After black phase, you'll move into gold phase, which includes a week-long, what we call FTX, or field training exercise. This field training exercise allows you to hone all those skills that you've picked up over the past 14 weeks at this point, and allows you to use them in combat scenarios implemented by the drill sergeants, to include reacting to fire, movement under fire, calling for fire, driving vehicles in combat situations, vehicle recovery operations if a vehicle gets stuck, as well as defending your combat outpost. According to an article by Army.mil, one of the heaviest things the Army likes to do, one of the biggest reasons they do these situations to induce that stress, to make you ready as much as they can before you leave, is because you could be gone at a moment's notice. The thing about the military is our forces are always ready to go. Now we have some units on standby, and we have some consistently ready to engage in a mission within a week. After your field training exercise, you'll come back and you'll prepare for graduation. When you're preparing for graduation, you're just going to clean. You're going to clean all your gear. You're going to turn everything back in. After you do that, you're going to move on to graduation. Graduation is a godsend to most of those going through basic. You get to see your family graduate. You finally receive your first few ribbons for your chest, and you also get your orders to your first duty station, assuming you're active duty. For National Guard, you'll return home and begin for regular Guard duties. In closure, this 16-week course, it includes 864 academic hours with more than 270 hours of field training exercises, and also 114 hours in just basic rifle marksmanship with these weapon systems that I mentioned earlier. It's rigorous, it's stressful, it's well worth it, but it is doing its best to keep you prepared and get you ready for future operations with your unit. All this data has been both through me and some previous drill sergeants, as well as Benning.mil and Tradoc from the United States Army. Thank you.